Today I wanted to talk about the 5 habits I have that keep me relatively lean as a busy mom. The first habit is I don't cook with oil most of the time. And I say most of the time because I do have Korean food that sometimes requires a tiny bit of sesame oil just to give it some flavor. That doesn't happen that often, and if I can get away with not having the sesame oil, I tend not to. But otherwise, for years and years, I have not used any oil to saute my food, to caramelize onions, or any of that. I've just learned how to cook without oil, and it's actually very easy. So if you could do anything, I would take oil out. It is 120 calories per tablespoon. So if you're pouring it on your salad or sauteing your food with it, it's not really getting stretched all that much over a big bulk of stuff, unless you're making a huge pot of chili and you're only using a little bit to help you cook. It's an easy one to just cut out entirely, and you will see a huge difference over time. I'm not saying you're going to lose 10 pounds in a month kind of thing, but you will see a big difference over a long period of time if you just switch this simple habit. The next one is I eat high volume foods. And by high volume foods, I mean I eat lots of fruits and vegetables. You've seen in my summer habits, I do a lot of fruit meals for breakfast and lunch. And for other meals, I throw in as many vegetables as I can for the most part. You'll even see in my nice cream that I do a whole shredded bed of carrots on the bottom of my nice cream bowls, and it just adds a lot of bulk and volume to my food, and it keeps me very full and satisfied. It also gives a nice satisfying texture to it. So there's something to it. If you've never tried carrots with your nice cream, you might want to give it a shot. It's an interesting combination, but you get used to it and it's delicious. I also find ways to incorporate more vegetables in my other dishes. So if I can throw in more, zucchini or broccoli or anything into my soups, any stews, any stir fries, I will incorporate more vegetables if I can. Obviously, when I'm eating, I will have more vegetable to anything else ratio versus my kids who have vegetables for health and flavor, but they don't use it as a way to dilute the calories in the food that they're eating. And starch is really important in all of this as well. So I found that if you have far too many fruits and vegetables and not enough starch, even if it's just starch at the end of your day, you're just more prone to things like binge eating at the end of the day or at the end of the week and ruining any progress you've made throughout the week or day. So making sure you have adequate starch so you have adequate calories to get all the energy you need for your day-to-day activities is very important. I'm also very good about having consistent meals. I just did a video on why I eat the same meals all the time. You've noticed that my breakfasts and lunches in particular are pretty much the same every day unless I have something else going on that's very different for my day-to-day. And then you also saw that for dinner, I do kind of the meal rotations. So if you want a freebie on what that might look like, I can link that below, and it'll show kind of like what I do to go through consistent dinner meals as well. But for the most part, the bulk of my meals, like I said, they're all kind of similar. The most delicate way of saying is it keeps you very regular when it comes to the bathroom. Your bowel movements are consistent and you feel like you're actually getting somewhere with it, if that's the best way I can say it. If you're consistent with your foods, you'll be consistent with staying regular. Number 4 is hydration. You'll notice that I do eat, like I said, I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, which are very hydrating, especially the high water content fruits like watermelon it's been really great this summer. And I also drink plenty of water. So you want to stay hydrated for more than just staying lean. It's very good for your health because your body needs water. So if nothing else, it's easy to just stay hydrated. If you need help with it, maybe use a little bit of those electrolyte packets to get yourself some flavor to the water if you have a hard time drinking straight water. But I've never had an issue with it, and it's really hot, and so I have to make sure I get enough. My 5th tip is movement. I've been saying this a lot. Walking, I think, is the most perfect human movement that we do. So making sure I get my steps in every day with a morning walk or, any time of the day walk. After dinner's a really good one too. But if you feel like you need to just split it up throughout the day, that's actually very ideal. And then trying to figure out ways to incorporate more movement in general is also good. I will do a video on how to get more movement in the future. Besides walking, I also do a lot of resistance training, whether that's body weight or weighted. And a lot's relative. A lot probably according to the population, but it's easy to just get in a regular amount of resistance training so you know that you've got a good muscle base and enough strength to get through your life, basically. Being able to move furniture has been so good for me because I don't have to rely on everybody else to make sure they can show up to things in my life so they can do the things I should be able to do myself. That's key. And just being able to pick up your kids is kind of a big deal. Being able to pick up my kids and run away if I need to is one of the big indicators on whether or not I'm doing all right fitness-wise. And this is one I didn't put in there because I'm not very good about it, but I guess my bonus tip is if you can pull it off, try and get really good sleep. And what I mean by really good sleep is getting to bed early, getting a nice uninterrupted sleep that's restful, actually restful, and then waking up when your body says it's time to wake up is ideal. I know we don't all have that. I don't have that. It's why I don't have it on my list. Obviously, sleep isn't the reason I'm lean, because if that were the case, I wouldn't be lean today. I still nurse my twin toddlers all night long and throughout the day too. I'm not getting a lot of good sleep at night, so obviously it's not something that's required, but I know sleep will help. And one of the things sleep does that'll help with is reducing your stress, which is obviously another thing that helps one stay lean. Stress reduction is something I think I do fairly well, even with all the lack of sleep that I have. But making sure you can just shrug off the stress, I guess that would be another bonus little tip. Just to not let yourself get stressed out with things in life. And that's been a practice of trying to figure out how to do that throughout my life. You don't want to worry about the things that it's not worth worrying about. The reason why sleep is good is because it reduces stress. It's good for your body to restore. And if you can do it, definitely do it. If you can't, don't assume that you can't be lean if you don't get sleep. I'm here to tell you as some living proof that it is possible as a busy parent who doesn't sleep much to still be lean if you get a lot of these other things consistently right. And I mean consistency. You don't have to be perfect with any of these tips. I'm certainly not perfect with any of the eating stuff. I still have those treats every once in a while. I just don't make it part of my consistent practice. If you have any tips to stay lean, let me know in the comments below. I will check it out.